My name is Mike Janecek. I'm from Cogro, which is on Deer Creek, kitty corner, and across the tracks from the Ford plant in Chicago Heights. This is also the traditional homelands of the Anishinaabe, or the Council of Three Fires, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations. The Miami Sauk, Fox, and others also inhabited these lands. There are moments in our lives that create a bright line, a boundary that has been passed. Events and occasions such as graduations, births, promotions, tornadoes, fires, or an illness. The recent COVID pandemic might have been one for me. I was very sick, and a surprise to me, I was really fighting to stay alive. That line's been smeared over months and years and did not fill me with a reinvigorated zest for life and reason to live. I recently read Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. Now I'm in the after, and it's different than before. She stood squarely in the quote real world and showed the actual world. The facts are not different, but the meaning is. Still, I am not filled with an unquenchable invigoration like the Energizer Bunny, but that's okay. In the actual world, there are slugs, caterpillars, grasshoppers, and vultures. In actual creation, there are not only squirrels and ants. I'll even go Jesus one better, with his lilies and birds. Look to the flies. They're fast and free and eat shit. Abundanza. Not only is their raiment wondrous, but those hilarious bodhisattvas color themselves royal blue and green and gold like money. Thank you, Robin Wall Kimmerer. Thank you, Great Spirit. There is another book that got me ready as a student for Dr. Kimmerer's teaching. It is Ishmael by Daniel Quinn. It is a philosophic, telepathic dialogues between a man and a wise old mountain gorilla. One part describes the people living in the actual world and confused about other people that do not follow the gratitude and reciprocity of earth spirituality. They take and waste. And why? Well, the story goes they ate forbidden fruit that made them think they were gods and they could behave however they felt. So the leavers, those who practice the noble harvest, which can be described as don't take the first you see, don't take the last, leave about 70 to 80% for others. These leavers told the story because they're people. The takers heard that story and wait for it. They took it as their origin story and named it Genesis. So yes, I am saying that Judeo-Christian Western civilization has created the quote real world based on a misperception of the actual world. The problem arises when the takers take so much that the leavers have to approach to get some back. The leavers have to go to war because creation is being hoarded in the quote real world. Now, 5,000 years later, after 500 years of plundering the new world, after 110 years of the Federal Reserve creating private debt money, they have influenced law and policymakers to entrench their quote real world misperceptions, their real world perceptions into the quote facts of life. They say it's the quote law of the jungle, but anteaters don't eat all of the ants. Lions have never stacked wildebeest skulls 20 feet high. So yeah, a retired itinerant painter that you spent $250,000 to keep alive is saying that the quote great spirit creator and the God of Israel are two different gods. The great spirit creator put the winged people, 4 legs, 6 legs, and swimming people into the world before putting us. We, as younger siblings of all these other beings, start to notice that by classifying these other beings, that some of the 4 legs are swimmers too. Not all flyers are birds, and not all birds fly. We should follow the examples of our older co-created siblings as to how to behave in the actual world. Some for all forever, instead of invest in profit at any cost. If capitalism is trading in a free market, then why are there so many wars and sanctions? Because, quote, real world does not have to be internally consistent. It is not the actual world. The Federal Reserve has printed graphs that show the inflationary growth of private debt money and fractional reserve banking. The movie Finding the Money, about Stephanie Kelton, shows the absurdity of current financial beliefs. Kelton stresses that she is just describing how the actual economy functions. It is very different from common beliefs. So let's practice feeling gratitude and practicing reciprocity and respect for the earth and all her beings, and try to make our actual world real for everyone. Thank you.